Dwayne Johnson entered the set of Stephen Colbert's show with his signature smile, charisma radiating across the stage. The audience erupted in cheers, standing in admiration for the man known as The Rock. Colbert welcomed him with warmth, complimenting his latest blockbuster and teasing his iconic eyebrow raise. Everything seemed in good humor until Stephen pivoted the conversation. "Dwayne, ever think you're more brand than man now?" he asked. The audience chuckled nervously. Johnson grinned tightly. "What's that supposed to mean?" Colbert tried clarifying it was just about how corporate his image had become. Dwayne's eyes narrowed slightly. "So success makes me fake?" he asked. Colbert shrugged. "Not fake, just polished." The mood shifted. Dwayne responded coolly. "Maybe polish is what happens when you grind for 30 years. Laughter dipped. The playful tone began to feel tense. Stephen pushed on, asking about the political rumors, talks that Dwayne might run for office someday. "It's true you've been testing waters, right?" Dwayne nodded slightly. "I've said I'd consider it if people wanted me to." Colbert grinned. "And how much of that is just marketing?" Dwayne's face changed. The crowd grew quiet. "Marketing?" he echoed. "You think I talk about service to country to sell movies?" Colbert chuckled nervously. "I'm just asking what everyone's thinking." Dwayne leaned forward. "No, you're implying what cynics say in tweets." The room froze. Colbert tried shifting again, referencing Dwayne's tequila brand and energy drink deals. "You've built quite the empire," he said. Dwayne replied flatly, "Because I've earned it." Colbert laughed awkwardly. "I mean, nobody can escape capitalism, not even The Rock." Dwayne looked dead serious. "I escaped poverty, not criticism." The interview kept slipping further. Colbert mentioned a recent viral video where Dwayne gifted a fan a truck. "Some people said that felt staged," he said. Dwayne blinked. "You saying being generous isn't real unless a camera's off?" Colbert tried smoothing it over. No, just how do you decide what to show?" Dwayne folded his arms. "When you do charity and nobody sees it, they ask why you don't give back. When they do see it, they say it's fake. What's the right move then?" Stephen hesitated. The audience wasn't laughing now. Dwayne's voice deepened. "You know how much good gets ignored just 'cause it's me doing it." Colbert answered. "Some say that's the price of fame." Dwayne replied coldly, "Then maybe fame's overpriced." Silence followed. A few people clapped, but the atmosphere had undeniably shifted. Colbert pressed on, asking about past controversies, comments Dwayne had made in his wrestling days. "Ever feel you owe apologies for old personas?" Dwayne shook his head. "You mean, do I regret being The Rock?" Colbert said, "I mean, some stuff hasn't aged well." Dwayne laughed once without humor. "That version of me gave millions of people joy. I've grown since, sure, but I'm not going to apologize for being in character when people tuned in knowing what it was." Colbert replied, "So, no regrets?" Dwayne answered, "Regrets a luxury for people who didn't come from struggle." The audience was pin-drop silent. Colbert smiled weakly. "I didn't mean to corner you." Dwayne replied, "Yeah, but you did." His tone was low, firm. "There's a line between an interview and an ambush, and I think we just crossed it." A producer signaled from behind the camera to wrap it up early. Colbert attempted a joke. "I promise I didn't bring a folding chair like back in your wrestling days." Dwayne didn't laugh. "You trying to provoke me again?" Colbert held his hands up. "I'm just keeping it light." Dwayne stood, slowly, his towering figure casting a literal shadow over the host. "I came here to talk, to connect with people, not to be dissected by someone who hides behind cue cards." Colbert stood too, visibly caught off guard. "I thought we were having an honest conversation." Dwayne replied, "Nah, you're having a performance. I'm just the subject." The audience gasped. Stephen attempted to shake his hand, but Dwayne turned, walking off stage without another word. Cameras scrambled, staff whispered, and social media instantly erupted. Backstage, Dwayne exited quickly, declining any press or comments. Within minutes, the moment was trending across platforms. Clips circulated with captions like, The rock snaps, and Colbert crosses the line. Fans debated fiercely, some defending Stephen's right to ask hard questions, others supporting Dwayne's decision to walk off. Think pieces flooded the internet overnight. Pundits questioned whether late-night interviews had lost their soul, becoming more confrontational than conversational. Meanwhile, a close friend of Dwayne tweeted, "He's real. Don't question," that fellow celebrities chimed in, some criticizing Stephen's approach, others staying neutral. Stephen, for his part, remained silent as producers went into damage control. Editors scrambled to recut the segment for rebroadcast, but the full clip had already gone viral. There was no stopping the narrative now. It had already taken on a life of its own. The next day, Colbert opened his show with an unusually serious tone. "Last night didn't go how anyone planned," he said. "Dwayne is someone I've admired for years. If I crossed a line, I own that." He stopped short of a full apology, but the message was clear. Something had gone wrong. Still, the response was mixed. Critics accused him of soft-walking the situation. Dwayne, meanwhile, released a short statement. "I show up with truth. I leave when it's twisted." It got millions of likes. Fans interpreted it as a warning: be authentic or be quiet. Within a week, interviews across Hollywood were being reviewed. Questions that once seemed routine now came under scrutiny. Was it okay to challenge someone who came to promote, not defend? Where was the line between tough journalism and targeted humiliation? Dwayne's next public appearance was on a podcast, not a late-night show. There, he spoke freely. "There's a difference between being real and being baited," he said. "I got no time for people who smile while setting traps." The host didn't interrupt. Dwayne continued, "I've worked too hard, come too far to play the game that way." Fans loved it. His popularity surged. Merchandise sold faster. His tequila sold out. It wasn't just support. It was admiration for how he handled pressure. No tantrums, no outbursts, just calm exit and truth afterward. Meanwhile, Colbert's show experienced a small dip in ratings. Not dramatic, but noticeable. Critics labeled it the Rock effect. Writers began scripting softer questions. PR teams began pushing back more. A single walk-off had reshaped how interviews were approached in a digital, unforgiving world. Weeks later, the moment still sparked conversation. Journalists debated whether Dwayne overreacted or whether Colbert under-respected. Dwayne remained steady, doing charity events, appearing in kids' hospitals and releasing new movie trailers. His brand grew stronger because it felt real. Colbert, to his credit, invited him back publicly. If he ever wants to finish the conversation, the seat's his. But Dwayne didn't reply. Not out of spite, but because sometimes a message hits hardest when nothing more is said. Fans continued to quote his exit line, "I leave when it's twisted." It became a mantra for those tired of being misunderstood. Merchandise was printed with the phrase, influencers repeated it. Dwayne had accidentally birthed a movement about dignity, boundaries, and self-respect, all from one unplanned moment under bright studio lights. Today, that fiery interview lives on in digital archives, lecture halls, and brand studies. Not as a scandal, but as a shift. A reminder that even public figures deserve real conversations, not rehearsed jabs. Dwayne Johnson didn't shout. He didn't threaten. He simply walked away from what felt fake. And in doing so, he reminded millions, that power isn't in the punch, it's in the pause. The walk-off became legend not for drama, but for composure. Late-night shows adjusted. Audiences became more critical of the setups, and Stephen Colbert, a sharp host known for cleverness, learned that even the strongest jokes can't cut through unearned disrespect. In the end, Dwayne Johnson didn't storm off angry. He exited with principle, and that, in today's world, is the most powerful move of all.